and salutations. Welcome to this episode with David McLean from StudioMiguel.com. I'm here showcasing a recent piece that I did for Illustration Friday called Bjork&Beries. Well, I apologize, I pronounced that wrong. It's Bjork&Beries. Hopefully you're a fan of Bjork, or at least familiar with her work. I am a huge fan, and I go way back. So, where did I come up with the idea for disembodied Bjork heads in a bowl of berries? Well, the theme for Illustration Friday was breakfast, and through a series of Google searches, I learned that there was not only a Hotel Bjork in Reykjavik in Iceland, but also a line of skin care products, lotions, and soaps called, oddly enough, Bjork&Beries. Now, they're not related to the artist, but still, it kind of got my mind going. My wife and I often will listen to her music in the morning, working ready for work, trying to get out of the door, and so I guess I just had this bizarre image of a bowl full of Bjork&Beries. What would that look like? So I jotted that down in my sketchbook very roughly, and then recreated it here on an A3 sheet of paper. Pretty much exactly the composition that I thumbnailed after the initial inspiration. Like most of my pieces, I start off with a pencil sketch to block out the basic proportions, get things placed approximately where they go, and then I go back and work over that with, in this case, a brush pen. In fact, normally I work with a waterproof brush pen, but here, this is an old standby, an old favorite of mine that I was drawing with. I happen to like the fact that it gives me a very, very fine line and a very thick line, depending on whether or not I need it. So once my bowl was in place and I was happy with my strangely almost caricatures of Bjork, I decided to start working on some typefaces. Again, I didn't really think this through before I started it, so I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing with it. At this point, I decided, well, maybe it was a cereal box. I wasn't really sure. So I blocked out a masthead to describe it as Bjork&Beries. Pencils are really rough, and you'll see in part 2 of this that I totally reworked this once it was in the computers. In fact, the computer. In fact, I changed it from Bjork&Beries to Bjork&Beries. So major compositional change. It's kind of a strange concept. It's fun to work on and fun to paint. In fact, even as I record this now, I am re-ripping the painting session that I did of this. So hopefully you'll be interested enough to not only make it to the end of this 4 or 5 minute video, but also to dial up the painting session. Oddly, the drawing went pretty fast. This is, I think, about an hour's worth of drawing. I forget already. Whereas I spent a good 3 hours, I think, painting this, painting the blueberries. And, of course, part of that's working out your color scheme and those kinds of things. I got a little sloppy with my inks, so I'll use a great technique that a friend of mine, Victor Staben, taught me, which is a whiteout pen. I just love that thing. It's so easy to fix corrections. And it works great, especially these days, because things get scanned into the computer. And you could just clone it all out in the end, but I like to get it on paper and kind of get an idea of what it is that I'm gonna have once I get it digital and start reworking it. So I generally try to clean things up to a logical and reasonable degree. So this is it. Stick around. Dial up the next movie, watch me paint this, then go to my website, go to my blog, and let me know what you thought. Please, love me or hate me, just don't ignore me.